fishing game on. Got my rods and reels, it's the real deal. Honey, so come on, come on.
There's a bite.
My last stop on the journey through Baja Sur is East Cape Los Cabos.
The sunrise over the Sea of Cortez, the activity of the dock in the morning, it's just one of the most iconic things you can do in the world of sport fishing.
I have many memories fishing here over the past 30 years, and most have been at the Buena Vista Beach Resort with the Valdez family. East Cape Los Cabos has a reputation for tranquility and sports adventure like no other destination down here.
Nice!
The Buena Vista Beach Resort offers the best of both worlds at East Cape. You can relax by the poolside bar, then hit their natural hot spring spa tub, or book one of the many fishing charters and catch a fish of a lifetime. I'll spend 2 days offshore with both the Valdez brothers, Felipe and Axel. Felipe is bringing his wife, Carla, whose love for the sport is apparently flourishing.
That fish looks huge from way back there. All right, yes!
After all these years, I'll be fishing for the first time with Axel, one busy dude. Felipe and I then join good friend Mark Rayer on his beautiful 35-foot Cabo, the Jen Wren. Coming with us are newlyweds Katie and Chris Brighton from Minneapolis, who have never been offshore before.
That's it, you're doing an awesome job on this thing.
The next morning, I take Chris out for his first rooster fish with Captain Juan, an inshore expert in these parts.
Rooster!
It's a perfect way to wrap up this Baja adventure. Join me on IGFA Angler's Digest.
Such a huge fish.
IGFA Anglers Digest is proudly sponsored by Tropic Star Lodge, Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation, Cobian Footwear. Step into quality, comfort, and performance. Mojo Sportswear. Get your mojo on today. Halco Lures. Making smart fish dumb. Wild Ocean. For the future of fishing.
Here we are, day one. We're looking forward to going out and being on this beautiful Sea of Cortez, fishing an area that's very near and dear to me, because this is a place that many, many years ago, my mom and dad and I, we used to tow our boats and trailers down here and spend 4, 5, 6 weeks at a time here at East Cape. And every time I come down here, I feel like my mom and dad are in the boat with me. All right, let's do this. So we're out with Captain Marcos, a very highly accredited captain, and he's got a mate, Jose, who is kind of a beginning mate, but certainly eager to learn. We have Felipe and Claudia Valdez in the boat as our anglers, and I'm tickled to be fishing with Claudia. We love having a woman angler on the boat because it really shows folks that, hey, you know what, women can pull on big fish too and have just as much fun as men do. We're gonna go out to what they call the shark buoys. And the shark buoys are a whole bunch of long line buoys that are only used parts of the time of the year, but they're anchored in these different spots, and they're always great fish aggregating devices. Well, the first one we came up to had nothing. So en route to the second one, we see a marlin finning, and it's like, yes, what a great way to start the day. We did put out a ballyhoo, try to make it alive, kind of twitching it and twitching it and twitching it. That marlin just fluffed off. That's cool. We saw marlin straight away. We're thinking this is a great omen. This could be an awesome day. We got about 400 yards away, and guess what? There's a bite. All right, that is you. Woo-hoo-hoo. Game on. At that point, it's just peeling line. We had no clue what it was until it made its first jump. It was a huge Dorado. Woo! Oh yeah, nailed it.
Not quitting. On.
She's excited. She's doing a great job on this fish.
If I can do it, any girl can do it.
That's right. You'll notice what she's doing. She's being really, really patient. A lot of people will sit there and just try to get a fish to the boat and they wear themselves out. She's smart enough to know that when the fish wants to fight, she's gonna let it fight. She's letting the fish dictate to her when she winds it. She's not being nervous and wearing herself out. That's the sign of a really, really competent, experienced angler. Felipe, you need to take lessons. You need to take lessons from Claudia.
I know.
Look at this.
I know. That's why I brought her.
This is so excited. I live for this. It's just great.
Yeah. Felipe was coaching her when the fish got close. We brought it up, and we stuck the gaff in that fish and brought it over the rail. The head of that fish was just prehistoric. It looked like a dinosaur.
Yay!
Hang up. Yeah.
Oh So it was a huge victory for us. It ended up being the biggest Dorado she had ever caught in her life. 2, 3. Our day had been made. Claudia, you go, sister. Well done. So hey, it's day 2, and I get to fish with Axel Valdez. Now, Axel's a very close friend of me. He's almost like a brother to me, but he never has gone fishing with me. So I got a chance to go out with him and his good friend Toby, who is a very accomplished fly fisherman. We've got Captain Marcos, Jose, everybody's excited. And we don't get a few miles away from we see a marlin. Bait it, no go. But it's always a good omen. I mean, we're seeing marlin. We know they're here. This is your typical June day, stunningly beautiful.
All we need is a couple of stripe marks.
I know, right? Is that asking that much? So we keep going and going. This time we see a few birds and we see splashes. Splashes and birds means porpoise. We get into the middle of it, put out a spread, good for tuna, and Axel says, let's fly that kite. We might rig up one of these ballyhoo, see if we can't get it above and skip that kite on the surface. We put the kite up in the air, ran a beautiful ballyhoo behind it, got it way, way up there, way, way back. Now the beautiful thing about kite fishing these yellowfin is that line is coming straight from the kite right down to that bait. So there's no line in the water and it's skipping around like a flying fish. A yellowfin will see that bait skipping and just assume it's a flying fish and eat it. When it comes tight on the rod, we should be hooked up. Marcos did a phenomenal job working back and forth, trying to keep that kite way up in the air to position a boat to get that bait to skip right through that porpoise school to get that tuna hook up. It takes it 3 times we did it. We trolled that way for about an hour and a half. Never sunk the kite, always had the bait in the air, always in a really fishy place. We didn't get bit. We were exasperated. We ended up bringing it in, putting out a marlin spread, coming back into where the fleet had been catching a few fish closer to the shore. All right, there it is, marlin. All right, yes! 5 minutes later, bite. Nice striped marlin. Actually sets on it several times. It's jumping away from us. Everything's looking great. Lures up in the air. It's putting on a great show. Axel's just getting set up into the fight. And it spits the lure. Doggone it. That's the whole thing about lure fishing, man. They either stick or they don't. We've been getting bit today, man. That's 3 good bites. I trolled around a little bit longer, never raised another fish, never saw another fish, called it a day. A very special friend of mine, Mark Rayer, he and his wife Jen have a boat called the Jen Wren. He offered to take us out day 3. I said, is it cool if we bring a couple of Minnesota anglers? And he said, that'd be fabulous. So Felipe Valdez joined us again, and we had Katie, we had Chris Britton. We went out with great baits. We had some beautiful live Spanish mackerel and some big, beautiful ballyhoo. We're rigged to the 9s.
Hot spot. You can see right there on the chart, we're just another 10 minutes, it'll be low tide. So when the tide swings, it seems like the fish come up and bite real well.
Okay, bro, I'm gonna get down here and get these folks fishing. Now there's a tournament going on. So there's a lot of boats fishing where the fish had been getting caught the last couple of days. And that is only like 2 miles, 3 miles off the beach and about 4 or 5 miles away from Buena Vista Resort. A lot of pressure on those fish. And all we want to do is get one for Katie. She's never caught a billfish. And guess what? First bite of the day, and it was game on. Yep. That's it. Turn the handle, girl. Keep that thing tight. Nice! Get along, little doggy. Oh gosh, this is so cool. She's getting a little tired. Got her up in the chair, got her feet up.
Oh,
all right,
I love you. I get to take a nap after this, right?
The good news is you're hooked up. The bad news is it could be another hour.
No, you are my best friend. Come on, buddy. Whew.
That's it, girl. That's it. You're doing an awesome job on this.
Thank you.
No more, no more.
No more?
No more.
She brought that marlin up, and at the last minute, clicked it in low gear, and I could tell the way the rod was moving, we thought, this isn't good. What happened? The fish was going away from us, but he was greyhounding so many times away. The line got wrapped around its tail, pretty common. It's never good for a billfish that has to put a lot of oxygen across its gills to sustain itself. Now you got a fish being towed backwards where it can't put that oxygen across its gills. Every minute in that situation could mean life or death to that fish. The mate was super, super quick, made the one wrap back away from the fish, and as soon as he did, that fish felt it. It took a swirl around the boat, so we knew the fish was fine. We towed the fish for a little bit, brought it alongside. What a cool little fish, it's beautiful. And you can tell it was completely revived. I thought to myself, I think I'll probably like to get in the water with this fish just to make sure everything's copacetic on the release. Fish went right past me, breathing, happy, had its color back, and I sat there just watching it go off into the blue.
Good job. That was great.
Wow.
Really good shot.
Crazy.
Don't forget me.
Thank you.
Great job, sister.
Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Done. Done.
We're on! Woo! Want to throw a bait back? Unreal, blue marlin bite. Whoa, what a morning! Same lure. That little blue and pink fox is getting hammered. Doggone it, man, that's so cool. There's only been a handful of blue marlin caught so far this year. I think the stats were 10 or 11, 12 blue marlin been caught so far. So that would have been one of the first ones. All righty, put it back out. Just like lure fishing can be, 3 to 10 fish are caught on a lure. That's about what your hookup ratio is. Unfortunately, we weren't one of those 3 out of 10 times. We got a good blue marlin bite and thought to ourselves, well, we still have a great afternoon. We're gonna fish those tides. Right on! Oh, that's sick! We did see a lot of other boats around us though, hooking fish and landing for the tournament. Yikes! And I guarantee the numbers of fish we saw being caught, I'm sure is pretty successful for the anglers that were fishing that tournament.
Calamar.
Pulling out all stops. This is the ever popular daisy chain. This is a daisy chain that instead of just having a teaser, is gonna have a stinger. Manuel, put it out. When you really want to get a billfish's attention, there's so much commotion in this. So if you got a plastic squid daisy chain like that, if I was a marlin, I'd eat that. The wind started to come up. When it comes to striped marlin, what really brings them up to the top is wind that they can lazily get into and tail downwind. So I'm up on top with Mark and we are scanning the horizon looking for tailors. Didn't see a single tailor. But you know what? It didn't matter. We had Katie catch her biggest saltwater fish of her life at this point. My excitement is fishing with great people like Katie and Chris Britton and seeing the excitement that they will have for the rest of their lives.
Thank you.
It was a great experience.
IGFA Anglers Digest, proudly sponsored by Reactor Watches, Best Built Performance Sports Watch, period. King Sailfish Mounts, from the water to your wall. Tough Line, braided lines for the toughest fish. Bubba Blades, the ultimate sportsman's knife. The Los Cabos Tourism Board.
We had 1 half day of fishing left. We thought we'd target those rooster fish. This time we're going out with Juan, Captain Juan, his mate Jesus, on the Alegría. We're going out to some of the most famous rooster fish areas in the world, and that is between Punta Colorado and Punta Arena. It's considered the rooster fish capital of the world. Well, it's all about getting live bait. They'll eat a fly, but it's really tough. Come up to the live bait guy. Oh, beautiful baits. I see a lot of bait right there. And Juan looks at it and goes, okay, vámonos. And we pull away without buying any bait. We see another bait guy, a ponga. The wet cell area had a bunch of leases, which are mullet. Now Juan gets excited.
Mullet. That's good for roosters.
Very good for roosters, eh?
Yeah, that's good.
Now we got the right bait to fish these roosters. Let's go. Have you ever caught a rooster?
I have not, and this is my bucket list.
No way, this is your bucket list fish?
This is my bucket list fish.
Oh,
yeah.
This is great, man. I hope you get one.
Yeah.
We pull into the spot. Wind. And it didn't take long for Chris to get bit. You're on! Woohoo! Feeds it line, comes tight, he's on. We get the fish pretty close to the boat. Oh, it just came up right there. You're only about 10 feet away from tipping that thing. All right. 20 minutes later, Chris gets his second shot. Beautiful job. Chris, great job, buddy. Great solid hookup. The fish is just smoking that outfit. He's having a time of his life.
They are so strong. My forearms are on fire.
And after about a 15-minute fight, He brings that fish up.
Rooster!
Two?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great shot.
One,
Thanks
two,
so much, Bill.
three. Move it side.
Oh, yes. Hasta la vista. Your first rooster, bro.
Thank you so much, Bill. That was unbelievably fun. They're so strong, my forearms are just on fire. Can't even clench my fist.
I could tell just from the expression on his face that he had just fulfilled a lifetime dream.
Awesome. Good job for your first. We got more to catch, man. We got more live baits.
Put out the baits again. We only have till about noon to fish today. Don't get another one. We just left Punta Arena fishing for rooster fish. We've only got a little time left here this morning. So now we're fishing another famous spot called Punta Colorado. All this patch reef of rock is also great habitat for big snappers and cabrillas, groupers. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if above and beyond catching a rooster fish here, hooking up a snapper or maybe a nice leopard grouper. And we see a huge shadow come out from nowhere. Fired up. It's another big rooster. There he is. Oh, he's off. He's off. Get him back there. I think there's two of them. He just pulled the bait off the hook. On. He came back and got it. Woo! It eats the bait. Fight it. I want to bring it in a little closer, a little quicker. Woo! Do-si-do. Bring it in. Oh, yeah. Woo-hoo! Victory is so sweet. Chris, what a morning, huh?
That's really incredible.
All these great bites. Wow, rooster fish right there in East Cape. I decided to take a quad out on my own for a little surf casting adventure on the beach.
Why I stopped here, you see all this beautiful sandy beach here, and anywhere you see this dark coloration, it's typically rock, what they call patch reef. And there's plenty of that along East Cape. Anywhere there's a sandy bottom, there's gonna be larger fish, and you can come all the way along here and look for rooster fish, and look for these drac crevel and other predators right along the beach, chasing bait, stop the quad, fly fish, throw a jig, throw a popper, and have a great time all day long. Those of you that want to kind of get away from the crowds, find your own little beaches, really a nice place to come and hang out and relax. Whole different motif, smaller resorts, quieter, a lot more tranquilo, but man, you've got some freedoms here that you just don't have in other places at the tip. Way too much weed. I'm gonna head back. I'm getting a little parched. I'm sure there's an ice cold beer with my name all over it.
I knew the perfect place to go just around the corner.
Rancho Leonero. There's probably no other place in all of East Cape that has this spectacular view of elevation of the beach here. This unbelievable rocky reef right out here in front with great scuba diving and snorkeling. They've got this beautiful pool set up, and you can dine right here overlooking the ocean, and the sunrises here are spectacular. Rancho Leonero is off the beaten path. It's a smaller resort, but really caters to people that just really want to get away from it all. Well, Gary, it's just another evening in paradise. So good to see you again.
Good to have you.
Man, I just don't make it down here often enough.
There's so much to do around here, you know. You think it's just fishing, but I mean, there's wonderful snorkeling. As you say, you can take ATVs, you can go miles, any direction. You know, we even have zip lines these days up in the mountains. Yeah, I mean, it's fun.
Now, Gary, I know you've had a bunch of pongers on the beach and some cruisers. What's your fleet look like now?
Okay, we kind of love the pongers because quite a lot of the modern fishermen are fly fishermen. So we have a big fleet. We have 9 super pongers and we have 8 cruisers. So yeah, a mixed bag. You know, it's something for everybody. The Sea of Cortez is tailor-made. I mean, it's calm seas. You can throw your flies most of the time. So. I think it's a great destination for a fly fisherman.
Well, thanks so much for your time. I'm going to enjoy this
Likewise.
margarita that you've turned me on to. Give me a tip to your hat on that, boss. And I love your new home down here.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Every time I come down here, I just feel like I'm home. You know, I've found myself saying this many times in my life, and I'm gonna say it again, proudly. Thank you so much to the Valdez family, and especially to Felipe and Axel, for the time you committed this week to provide us the opportunity to go out and have some amazing fishing. I love seeing fish the first 10 minutes of the day here.
This is an amazing fish, probably over 50 pounds easily.
Yay!
But this time it was really, really extra special because I got to fish with two great people from Minnesota and see the excitement of catching saltwater fish to people that are addicted freshwater anglers.
Nobody said it was easy, but I had no idea. Thank you.
Spent some great time with Mark and Jennifer Rayer on their boat, the Jen Wren, and just have the camaraderie that we see here at this hotel, the hospitality and the amazing service that you always receive here at Buena Vista Beach Resort. Claudia, guess what? There you go, girl. I also want to give some high fives and hugs, what's really, really deeply deserved, and that is to the ladies in the show this week. Because not only did they show themselves they can catch big fish, they showed any woman at home watching the show that, you know what, anyone can do this if you just put yourself in a position to do it, have a little tenacity, and you too can have the exact same thrills that they shared this week here at East Cape. Woo-hoo-hoo! Game on! Thank you all so much for making this episode one of my favorites of the year.
That was great.
Oh gosh, this is so cool. Yeah, kiss it. Roosters on! Oh! Woo! Biggest Dorado ever caught on IGFA Anglers Digest, without a doubt. Your first rooster, bro.
Thank you so much, Bill. That was unbelievably fun.
What a thrill.